And again, like I mentioned, tonight we're going to be in James 1, verse 1. And in this section, he's going to be talking about trials. Now, trials, they have a way of showing us where we really stand in our walk with the Lord, where our faith really is. Because another thing I mentioned is he talks about deceiving ourselves. We can deceive ourselves into thinking that we're further along in our walk than we really are. Maybe we're busy serving and we're thinking that we're doing good, because we are, but maybe the character is not growing alongside with it. But trials have a way of showing us where we are, because it shows us where or who we run to when the hard times come. And some of you are in a trial right now, and just think about who or what is it that you're running to. Or maybe you came out of a trial, and think about the last trial you had. Who did you run to? What did you run to? And I just want to point out, if you had a trial or you're in a trial and you did not pass that test, just run to the Lord. Don't run away from Him. Because a lot of times we get so discouraged and we think that we're growing in our walk, and then a trial comes and we fail, and then we just are so discouraged and we think that, man, just forget it. I'm not growing. But that's not the case. You could have been growing. You just failed in this one area. So don't get discouraged. Run to the Lord. Trials also give us an opportunity to know the Lord more than we did before, as was the case with Job. And trials also help us mature, as we're going to see in these verses. And God shows us through James how to emerge victorious in trials and how to live a better Christian life, as it teaches us to mature and grow in our walk. And if we're going to turn trials into triumphs, we must obey 4 imperatives that James points out in these verses. So again, I had asked at the beginning, if you're in a trial right now, how are you doing? Or think about your last trial that you're in. How did you do? If you didn't do too well, it happens. There was a lot of trials last year that I had that I did not pass. But what do we do if we failed? If we didn't do like we would like to do? How do we improve? How do we get it the next time? Well, if trials are the testing of our faith and we failed the trial, that means our faith is weak, right? So then the answer is to build your faith. How do you build your faith? Romans 10:17 says, by faith, let's just go to it. Faith comes by hearing the word of God. So be in the word. And not only be in the word, because we can go through, we can just go through the motions. We can go through a Bible plan, which is good, but we can just do it just to check something off on our list. But I would say pray while you read. Make it a two-way conversation. If you're reading, let's just say James, and you're reading about patience, and you come across that verse, and it's like, Lord, I don't have patience. Please help me have patience. You could just pray right then and there, and pray as you read. And now what happens is you begin to have a two-way conversation with the Lord. And be in His Word, meditate on His Word. And again, one of my favorite passages in Scriptures is Psalms 1. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in His law does he meditate day and night. So pray that you would delight in His Word. If you read the Word and it's boring to you right now, the Lord knows that you feel that way. Pray about that. Pray, Lord, I want to delight in Your Word. I do find it dull. Help me to love it, to crave it, to want to learn from it. Pray that you would delight in the law of the Lord and to meditate day and night. What that means is if you read the Word in the morning, throughout your work day, just think about the scriptures that you read over and over again. Think about it. Pray about it. Pray to yourself about it, and think about how you can apply that to your life, and even share it with somebody. What are the results when that happens? He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that brings forth its fruit in its season. He will be fruitful, whose leaf also shall not wither, and whatever he does shall prosper. And so what that means is just whenever you decide to live for the Lord and you want to do his will, whatever that might look like, you're going to be prosperous. That doesn't mean you're going to be rich. It doesn't mean you're going to be healthy. But what that means is spiritually and for the things that matter, for the heavenly riches, to please the Lord, to please our Master, you're going to prosper in that. The ungodly are not so. And then also Joshua. Joshua 1, verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. It's basically saying the same thing as Psalms 1. So if God said it, I believe it. If he says it twice, he better believe it. So the point is, to come strong to go strong through your trial is to be in the Word and be in worship, be in prayer, and also just keep in mind, consider that this is a trial. Have a joyful attitude. Know that trials are going to work something out good for me. Have a knowing heart, a knowing mind. Let patience have its perfect will. Have a surrendered will. Let it happen. Surrender yourself to the Lord and ask. Have a heart that wants to understand. And remember that God is doing something while you're suffering. There is a reason for it. Sometimes we will learn what the reason is on this side of heaven. Sometimes we won't. Sometimes we'll learn when we are over there, when we are home.